Hey guys, I'm so excited for this Saturday. Make sure that you've registered. Make sure that you registered your phone number so that we can text you the link for the free class that's starting this Saturday at 8 a.m. I sent out a video yesterday, and I asked you three questions. The first question is what value do you bring to the client? Like, what's your value proposition? I asked, what's the value that your client has? Like, what does your client value? Does your client value price? Does your client value flexibility? Do they value being first to market? What's the value that you need to be able to speak into your client and make sure that you're positioning your offer that matches what they value? So what value do you bring? What value, what is it that they value? And lastly, what's the value of the transformation because they've done business with you? What's going to be different about their experience at the end? When it's all said and done, when they complete the program, when they take delivery of whatever it is, what's going to be the value of that transformation because they made the right decision in buying from you? Today, I want to talk about the buyer's journey, and if we think about in its basic terms, a buyer's journey is the process that your prospect will go through as they navigate their way working with you and with your brand. So when we think about it, the buyer's journey could start with something that is free. In many ways, this is a buyer's journey for you. I'm giving something away for free. And I'm doing that because I'm trying to earn your trust. I'm trying to trade my free services for your engagement, my free services for your attention, to at least sample what I can bring to you, what my brand, what my team, what my offerings have. Now, it doesn't have to be free. It could be something that's low value, or I'm sorry, that's low price and has a high value. So is there something that you can offer your client that would be, something that's a low cost to you, but has a really high value, or at least a high perceived value for your client? And remember, what's going to determine whether it has value? The prospect is going to determine whether your offering is of value if it's a match for what they value. I give an example of me going in over the Super Bowl weekend to my local Publix, our grocery store here, and they were giving free samples of spinach dip, and it was wonderful stuff. Spinach, creamy. It was warm, gooey with cheese. But even though there was a great price, I didn't buy it. They were selling it at maybe a third of its normal price. But during that time of my life, I was valuing my health. I valued weight loss more than I valued being able to have, a great creamy, cheesy, high-calorie food. So even though they thought that they had something of really high value to give me, I didn't value it. And so I didn't buy it. As you move them from this kind of free experience into maybe a low-cost, high-value service or program or offering you have, you may then move them along the buyer's journey. Maybe then they take the next step and they buy maybe a digital program, or maybe they come to a live virtual training, moving them into maybe a higher ticket a higher ticket live event, or maybe for some of you who are coaches, maybe it's a Inner Circle 6-month mentorship program, something of higher. So you're moving your prospect based on what they value through a process of engagement where they're able to experience working with you and the unique gifts, talents, resources, the unique value proposition that you bring. And all along the way, your job is to maintain rapport with that client And we're going to talk a lot about rapport on Saturday's workshop. And you're going to need to influence them to stay engaged so that they will make that next decision. So in order for you to do that, I've got 3 questions for you to answer. And again, I think if you'll answer the 3 questions I asked yesterday, what's your value proposition? What does your client value? And what would be the unique value transformation from doing business with you? And if you'll answer the 3 questions I'm going to give you now, in preparation for this 4-week sales boot camp that's given to you complimentary, I think you're going to get so much more out of it. So here's the first one. Think of what you can use as a free, high-value offering. What can you offer for free that would be the start of your buyer's journey? What can you offer? Again, I'm doing this 4-week sales boot camp. High value, low cost because I'm basically trading my time for this. But it's a first step. There's over 2,500 people have registered. Many of you, this is my first opportunity to work with you, our first opportunity to engage with my brand. And so I'm trading this as a way for you and I to be connected, for you to experience the value that I can bring you. Second, what can you offer as a low action threshold to your prospect if they're not ready to buy right now? They're committed, but they're not fully committed to the total offering. So think about this as when you're in the sales process. Let's say you're selling, let's say you're selling a $1,000 coaching package. And your client's leaning there. They're on the fence, but they're not ready to fully commit. Rather than suffering the let me think about it, or let me get back to you, or check back to me in a month or 3 months, because we know the likelihood of them ever getting back to you is slim to none. They turn into kind of Casper the Friendly Ghost. What can you offer them that would be a lower action threshold? It takes less of a commitment of their time, or maybe it's a lower price. I was just working with one of my private mentoring clients. They offer a $6,000 coaching package, 12 weeks, $6,000. And so when they're on the phone, they're talking to a qualified buyer. The buyer is interested in doing business with them, but not ready to commit to $6,000. They'll commit to the 12 weeks, but it was the $6,000 that they were hung up on. And so what I did is I shared this technique of offering the client a lower action threshold. So maybe you offer them a 90-minute strategy session where you're going to help them prepare what maybe their purpose, their vision, their goal is, or help them work on one issue that they said during the intelligence gathering phase of the sales process that they wanted to work on. I think if you'll do this, you're going to find that it's going to really help you. Lastly is, what could you use as a fast action bonus? What can you use that would generate urgency in the mind of the buyer? Do they get some kind of special bonus? Do they get an extra week? Do they get some free digital product of high value if they act now? Those are the 3 questions I want you to work on. And I promise you, if you'll think into this, you'll get so much more out of the workshop. Make sure we've got your text phone number so we can get you the link to the live on Saturday. I'll see you then. Be well. Bye-bye.